Hey, look at me! I'm sitting here sad and lonely without a fire, but a desire tonight. Hear you say,
You sing.
and I see the ladies walking along one by one, and I never want to hear I have a boyfriend.
Christian, as you probably know, is one of, if not the most infamous figure on the internet. His antics have been followed for over 15 years at this point, with Christian possibly being the most documented person to have ever lived. This is not a surprise, both due to his status on the internet as the first Lolcow, as well as his proclivity to release endless amounts of his own information, embarrassing or otherwise. This video will intend on summarising as best as possible Chris's life. Whilst there are other videos documenting Chris's story, including over 50 hours of Christian, A Comprehensive History, as well as countless other Christian documentaries, I have the ability to document Chris's recent history. Christopher Weston Chandler was born on the 24th of February 1982 to Bob and Barbara Chandler, an aging couple aged 54 and 40 respectively. This likely contributed in one of Chris's defining features, his autism. This revealed itself in Chris's ability to speak, with him being required to attend speech therapy due to his inability to talk until the age of 7. Not too much is actually known about Chris's early childhood, due to his infrequency to talk about it, as well as him being an unreliable narrator, so a lot of this has to be taken with a heavy grain of salt. What we do know is that his childhood friend, Sarah Hammer, likely bullied him. He changed his name after Leonard Bernstein misheard his name and referred to him as Christian, with Chris taking this as a sign from God. Chris also swapped schools due to him being forcefully restrained, as well as him being supposedly subjected to a homosexual encounter with the school's principal. Finally, when he was 11 years old, he won a Sonic the Hedgehog competition, granting him $1,000 to spend on Sonic merchandise.
Finally tonight, Sonic the Hedgehog is running wildly in the Chandler household this weekend. 12-year-old Christian Chandler of Charlottesville was the winner in a video game shopping spree. Christian is one of only about 100 winners nationally to receive $1,000 worth of Sega games and equipment. For his parents, it's just another example of how well he's doing. Christian is a high-functioning autistic child. This past fall, on his own initiative, he entered a contest based on a favorite cartoon character.
What I had to do was exactly watch Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, and I'd listen to what Sonic says at the end of it and write it down for a whole week, and then I had to mail it in, and it has to be drawn out of a hat, and I just won.
And Christian's father says it only takes a few hours for him to master an electronic game and then move on to another. I can't master any of them.
Chris's time in high school was the happiest period in his life, with him making many original creations, as well as stating he was an honor roll, as well as being the basketball team manager. However, with documents retrieved, we know this isn't true. Chris was a below-average student in school, admitting to sleeping through classes in school essays, writing in Spanish halfway through English sentences, and just getting poor grades in general. He obviously also wasn't the manager of the basketball team, instead just being the water boy. Chris was also subject to the special ed bus after an occurrence on the normal school bus. The special ed bus was despised by Chris, with him being forced to spend time with the quote, slow in the minds. However, despite this, things weren't all negative for Chris, inventing Bionic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog's brother, a professional basketball player, as well as a skilled mechanic, although he's just a recolor of Sonic. He also created the better known, and slightly more creative, Sonichu, the mix of Sonic and Pikachu, who is essentially another Sonic recolor, but we'll get more in depth on Sonichu later. Chris also had friends during high school, with these being his gal pals whom he'd spend every odd day eating lunch with one of these girls, Tiffany Gowan, dancing with Chris at the senior prom. However, you might have already guessed that these people weren't actually Chris's true and honest friends, instead just pitying him. Speaking of the senior prom, Chris brought his mother, Barbara, instead of an actual date. This is what we call foreshadowing. Chris's high school graduation is one of the things that have negatively impacted him the most. He felt as though he deserved to be rewarded more, only getting a star pin and not being given what he felt he deserved, the recognition of his art. Upon receiving his diploma, he refused a handshake and ran away crying, an action Bob was deeply ashamed of. Sonichu was created in March 2000, with Chris having to make a CD cover with him struggling on the assignment due to not being allowed to use copyrighted characters. However, Chris, using his ingenuity, decided to work around this issue by using 2 copyrighted characters, by mixing them together, making them one, with these being Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu, thus making Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon. This soon became, and still is, the biggest thing in Chris's life, with him being devoted to Sonichu, trying to make him a big hit through as little effort as possible. In 2005, Chris even began a comic using Sonichu, simply named Sonichu, which, after 16 years, is on its 17th issue, although a few are incomplete. After high school, Chris's education was not finished, with him going to Piedmont, Virginia Community College, where he originally chose marketing as his major, for some reason. This was changed by Bob to computer-aided drafting and design, CAD, which made much more sense of a goal for Chris to achieve, because let's be honest, you wouldn't buy anything if Chris tried to sell it to you. During his time in community college in 2003, Chris began his love quest, his search for a sweetheart. This involved him holding a sign around the college seeking female companionship. This obviously didn't work, and instead backfired on Chris, getting him temporarily suspended from college for attempting to solicit sex. Instead of accepting the punishment for his poor behaviour, Chris decided to make Mary Lee Walsh his enemy, with him being angry at her for years after the fact, as evident in her role in the Sonichu comic, where she is one of the main antagonists. Despite Chris's actions, he did eventually manage to graduate from college after 5 years, with the course only being a 2-year one. But, anyway, Chris needs some recognition. Further to this, he also didn't cry during his graduation. In 2002, Chris began going to a game and hobby store known as the Game Place, where he would play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Every Friday. He would primarily show up in his Ash Ketchum costume, although this would eventually be retired. He also seemed to have a bit of a temper whilst playing, even getting angry towards small children. These outbursts would stretch out into both homophobic and racist remarks, according to 2 Game Place regulars, Lucas and Mims. He was then later banned in 2008. It wasn't all bad for Chris though, as in 2005, in the Game Place, he met his one and only true and honest friend, Megan Schroder. Despite Megan Schroder being Chris's only real-life friend, who wasn't instantly repulsed by him, Chris tried to take advantage of this by pursuing her romantically, even though she had made it clear that she wanted no relationship taking place. Chris saw her as his sweetheart, touching her, despite her clearly being against it, and writing her into his comic. With Chris's unrequited love, he decided there was only one thing he could do to win her heart. Win the Parappa the Rapper Showdown contest, where he would win 2 PSPs as well as an all-expenses-paid trip to Seattle. All he had to do was win it.
AP Station, my name is Christian Chandler. I live in Brucksville, Virginia. I have a PSP, I like to rap. I play with the rapper, I go with you now. The only song I know is Master Onion, which I got from a demo I borrowed from my friend Megan. So here we go, we're gonna sing it now. Master Onion a la mode. Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find that you all things that I teach you sure to beat ya. Over the rest of that to listen to the teacher now. Kick, kick, punch, punch, chop, chop, block, block. Once more, kick, kick, punch, punch, chop, chop, and block, block. Turn and pose, turn and pose, duck and turn, duck and turn. We're gonna jump and pose, jump, pose. Rap, rap, rap. That's a rap.
Yeah, he didn't win it. He even cheated. Although, it's not like any of this mattered anyway. Megan most likely wouldn't have gone, and when he lost, she just didn't care. All Chris did was make a fool of himself. But at least the video was funny. Sadly, well, for Chris it is, Megan didn't remain friends with Chris for much longer after he leaked the She Came for Quick image on Encyclopedia Dramatica, and then clarified that it wasn't his imaginary sister Crystal, and was instead Megan. In 2008, Megan found out about this and was clearly upset, breaking off all ties with him. Chris tried defending himself by saying, quote, "If I had not released my frustrations in the creative sense, I might have actually done something really dumb and stupid." This is what we call foreshadowing. Chris, Bob, and Barb then began to hold a grudge against Megan, believing her to be one of the trolls. As mentioned in the previous section, the trolls had already begun to become a part of Chris's life, mainly due to Lucas and Mims in the gameplays. This wasn't the only time Chris had become noticed on the internet, however, with The Tale of the Crazy Pacer, a short story by Anna McLaren featuring Chris, with his poor attempts to seduce Anna, as well as his awkward behaviour, being the focal point of the story. Even with this short story, the main cause of infamy at this time was due to his Sonichu comic, which was mocked for its poor art and awful writing, and was soon put on the Encyclopedia Dramatica website. Chris tried to settle this with his first YouTube video.
Hello, my name is Christian Weston Chandler from Rutgers, Virginia. It has come to my attention that I have a lot more fans of my electric hedgehog Pokemon Sonichu than I had originally thought. And I thank each and every one of you for your support. And I will draw more comics when I get some positive inspiration or when I feel like it. Anyway, it has also come to my attention that I have a lot of people who may have picked up on the wrong theories of my person. I will not quote any hate sites, but I would like to humbly apologize for appearing to be some kind of sleaze, troll, badass, or whatever adjectives, good or explicit, you may feel about me. Please understand, I am a 25-year-old high-functioning autistic male with a simple, peaceful dream of becoming a father of a sweet, little pretty girl who I will dub the name Crystal Weston Chandler. My mother and my father are both really nice, old-fashioned type people who not only gave me birth at their ages, which my mother is 66 currently, and my father is currently 80. They both just turned that way in the last couple of months. And I was born in 1982. They gave me the birth then, and anyway, they were so nice of them for them to give me the birth during the early 1980s. I was diagnosed with high-functional autism, and I lived a somewhat rough life. I've had an abusive babysitter at one time, and some of the teachers and principals of Nathaniel Green Elementary School, and I was attending in later years, about late 1980s, early 1990s, they abused me by pinning me to the ground with holding my wrists and my ankles, pinning me down to the ground, and audio taping my cries and shouts. And after being on honor roll throughout Providence Middle and Manchester High, Sonichu was first thought up in my senior year, and along with a nice bunch of teachers backing me up in my circle of gal pals. I mostly had that circle during my high school years. Anyway, after all that, I graduated. Attended Piedmont, Virginia Community College, and eventually I graduated from there too with a degree in computer-aided drafting and design, also known as CAD/CAM. So please understand, I am not a violent person. I'm decent. I come from a caring, loving pair of parents. I'm kind, I'm considerate, I will respect your space and your feelings ever so much. And I apologize for my MySpace profile if it appears to reflect anything on the contrary of all that. I apologize that I appear to be a slow-minded person. I'm sorry for reflecting any negative feelings towards each of you that have felt them, including those who have had such feelings they have created demeaning web pages. All I ask of those people who are watching this right now is just take them down, please. I'm asking, as an innocent victim of misunderstanding, just take down your web pages or add them to positively better reflect my feelings as an individual, as a person, as a man who has suffered like most everybody in this world that we all live in. Thank you very much for your time and listening, and please remember, I'm an innocent person, just like most every one of you. I've had my faults, I've had my share of bad times, I have my share of good times. Please understand that. Thank you again. Take care.
As you should already know, this attempt at peace failed. Chris's next course of action was to attempt to vandalize the ED page with what he called an information overload, which obviously backfired as he was giving the trolls more information about himself, as well as destroying his one true friendship as stated before. This started a war between Chris and ED, with Chris trying to get his fans to get the page shut down.
Citizens of the Internet, I present an open message to each and every one of you. Y'all should know me by now, but if you don't, I am Christian Weston Chandler, the original creator of Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, back on March 17th, 2000. Any dates earlier are void. I present this open message because I have a whole bunch of people on the internet give me hate, show me a lot of hate, and I do not appreciate it. It takes me off. You think you could just hate me just to get a laugh out of yourself? Think about it. You're laughing at somebody else's pain and torture because I am lonesome, still trying to find a boyfriend-free girl and to make it to a sweetheart. Y'all think I'm just a sap, a chump, dumbass, whatever you may think. But you know what? You, every last one of you who has expressed hate against me, you're the shitheads. Every one of you who thinks I'm homo and calls me that because I am not. I'm straight. You're the homos. Every last one of you. I could take the whole time to express so much anger and frustration. I just have not been feeling the inspiration to draw, to color, because the loneliness, I cannot stand that. The hatred I'm getting from every last one of you who has contributed to that Encyclopedia Dramatica webpage. And every other forum, internet document, lewdly drawn pictures with dicks. I love dykes. China. I'm straight. If I see a dick, I just look away with a moment of being freaked out. And am I or Megan Schroder still an item? Which, by the way, she broke up with me so much long ago because the contributors to that ED page, you broke the emotional strength between us. You promoted such twists and turns to everything I have said and drawn and written and whatnot. You broke up the best friendship, the best relationship, the closest I could ever have in this pitiful adult life. No more official Sonichu art or work may or may not ever emerge, depending on the amount of hate that is decreased. That webpage taken off the internet. I wish I had never found that piece of shit. I am not a pedo fork, you dorks!
This worked, and the page was shut down, and Chris declared victory. No, obviously not. ED was temporarily shut down, but this was just coincidental. That didn't stop Chris from gloating, though. Blanca Weiss was the first female persona used to catfish Chris. The intent of the trolls behind this persona was to get what they believed to be Chris's prized possession, his Sonichu medallion. After speaking to Chris for a few months, they finally achieved their goal and got the Sonichu medallion, with them proudly destroying it on camera soon after.
My wooden badge is delicious!
This, however, barely fazed Chris, with him just pretending that it was a decoy. Despite the relative failure of this endeavour, it was the forerunner for other attempts, and made it clear that Chris was easily able to be coerced, with them using multiple different pictures of Blanca, none of which actually looked the same. PandaHalo, aka Sarah Mackenzie, was supposedly an Australian woman interested in Chris, although it was another catfish who actually contacted Chris during his conversations with Blanca, and when he learned Blanca was a fake, he instantly jumped to PandaHalo. This troll showed how desperate Chris was for China, convincing him to have sex with the dog if she had wanted him to, and got him to record himself masturbating for her. During this saga, a certain character went to Australia and raped PandaHalo. Obviously, this didn't actually happen, but Chris believed it did. That didn't mean he cared, though. This saga ended with PandaHalo having this troll's child, and they lived happily ever after, and as Chris believed, eventually dying in a bushfire, despite them living nearly 1,000 kilometers away. With Chris's threat to suspend comic production due to the ED page being up, there were unintended consequences. A fan of Chris's, Clyde Cash, committed suicide due to being let down by his idol, Chris, after he stopped the creation of the comics. This, again, obviously did not happen, but Chris being Chris, he believed it. This brought about the wrath of Ryan's brother, Clyde. In response to Clyde coming to seek vengeance, Chris made a video where he compared Ryan's death to his dog's.
I'm addressing this video to Clyde Cash, older brother of Ryan, who sadly committed suicide upon himself when I made the idle threat to stop doing my comics in protest of the Encyclopedia Germanica page. Clyde, I'm sorry your brother died. Well, it doesn't mean you have to go picking on me for the cause of his death, because I did not do it personally to him, and I did not mean to do it. I'm just an innocent bystander in all this. Even though I probably gave him a reason. I'm sorry. You don't have to do anything mean. I mean, would Ryan want you to go doing anything stupid as torturing other people or even go as far as killing them? You don't have to do this. Just live on your life and move on. You'll find yourself a girlfriend, and she'll make you happier than possibly how well Ryan could have done it. You don't have to go off killing people. You don't have to harm anybody, emotionally or physically. Just take some deep breaths, have some time to yourself. Maybe find yourself a counselor at your local church that you can talk to. I mean, I feel for you, man. I mean, I've had people die on me a few times before, and I went to their funerals. My dog died. I was sad. I cried for weeks. But yeah, I got over it. I saw Patty in my dreams, and she reassured me that she was okay, and that God is taking good care of her.
In retaliation, the first thing he did was grape PandaHalo and conceive a child with her. Clyde's next course of action was to pose as a web designer for Nintendo to gain access to Chris's website, Sonichu.net, with Chris being able to retrieve his account by claiming he was a homosexual.
Hello. You know, the word gay tends to be thrown around a lot, especially when one's words is heavily understood one way or understood another way. It can mean so much. But when it comes to in the end, it can make a lot of difference. I have come out of my emotional prohibited shell that has prohibited me from expressing my emotions in an understood, wise choice of words, but I have learned to come out and express them in a good term as well. But I'll cut to a chase. I respect my fellow man, and I have some feelings for the man as well. But yeah, in a nutshell, I have to come out of the closet. God, please help me. Simply put, and I'm willing to say this in sound, mind, and body, I am a Gabian. Yep, you heard me. I am a gay. A male lesbian. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay. I said it. I said it. So there. I said it. Yep. I'm good.
These were the major actions taken by Clyde. However, as Chris's arch nemesis, he appears frequently during this era. The Julie saga was at one point the most controversial saga to appear within Chris's life, with trolls taking it too far. While speaking to PandaHalo, Chris began speaking to yet another fake woman, Julie, with it being really obvious that this woman was a fake. On the 26th of February 2009, Max, aka Blue Spike, the person behind the Julie character, kidnapped Julie, requiring Chris to drive down to Ohio to rescue her. This just led Chris to a poor neighborhood with his parents being worried about him. Julie and Chris also commenced in cybersex, with Chris being caught working himself in the kitchen by Bob.
No, it's okay. My father will get it. Don't worry about it. I'm getting all these crazy damn calls. What are you doing? Nothing. Give me that crap. Now, what's going on? Dad, will you get out of here? No, I will not. Get away from the internet. I'm cutting it down right now. No! Dad, no! Yes. No!
Julie also convinced Chris to create a demonstration of their first time together, with Kimmy, Chris's sex doll, in place of Julie. This sparked the infamous Julie quickism. The Julie saga ended when Blue Spike, the 13-year-old behind the Julie persona, made Chris shove his Sonichu medallion inside himself and then later revealed himself to be a troll. Through this, you can hear Blue Spike's poor attempt at pretending to be a female, which Chris really should have caught on to.
Chris, I'm happy you're here. Hi.
Hi. I've got my earphones on.
Hi. Chris?
Joy?
There's something I've been trying to tell you for a while.
Yes?
This whole time, Chris, you've been having sex with a 13-year-old boy, you sick fuck!
What?
Yeah, I'm a 13-year-old boy, Chris, and you've been having sex with me this entire time. I'm gonna give all your fucking data to Chris Hansen, you fucking pedo fork, so you better get the fuck out now, before I report you to the fucking feds.
Ivy was yet another woman in Chris's life during this golden era, and was yet again, and still unsurprisingly, a troll. Ivy was a part of Chris' story due to her being given a shout-out by Chris, who managed to get her name wrong, and thus she requested another shout-out, making Chris instantly infatuated. Chris's infatuation made Ivy able to request a whole load of content from Chris, with him actually making a properly edited video, as well as a house tour, which, after showing the poor state of his house, made this gem.
This does not even deserve a captain's log introduction, because this is dead serious. The inside and outside tour I did a few months ago of my house, everyone on the internet, my mother and my father are angry at me. They're blaming at me. It's my fault. I admit it's my fault. I want everything about my house off the internet. I'll send in detectives. I'll send in police. I'll send in everything in my power to get it off the internet.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Listen to me.
Yes.
Shut that goddamn thing off. I don't care what you do. You get all that stuff off of there tonight.
I'm working on it.
Go work on it.
I am
Do
working.
you realize something? Let me tell you. If the health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it.
I see.
You go get that goddamn stuff off of there and fast.
I'm working on it. I was making a YouTube video for you to tell everybody to get the images off of the internet. It's out of my control.
Oh, you get them off.
It's out of my control. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
You loaded them up there. You unload them.
I'm working on it.
Go do it.
I am doing it. I'm sorry.
Get in here and do it. I'll be up all night with you if I have to. You won't get any sleep till that stuff's off.
I'm working on it.
Get in there and start.
I'm working on it. Let me do this stupid video so I can tell everybody at my command to get everything, help me get everything off of the internet about our house. So yeah, please get everything off of the internet now.
He also revealed his incontinence issues. He had to be punished for cheating with another fake woman, Vanessa Hudgens, explained how he recycled using his own sperm, and finally, he made her a really creepy message.
Hey Ivy, I'm doing this video for you. Oh, we are going to have so much fun together when you and I are together. You know, my mommy and I, my family and I will come and meet you at the airport. And you know, your choice, so take you to your hotel or bring you back to my house. I mean, you know, we'd be hanging around so much and sharing so many fondful memories. Watch a television rerun. Family Guy. Family Guy. Or I Love Lucy. Or I got the entire series of Gilligan's Island. And you know, I look forward to the eventuality of you and me having our sex time together. I'll do my best to pleasure you and keep you satisfied. Miss Biz Ivy, just for you. Just for you. I know a number of good positions and massages. Wonderful memories, so wonderful memories. We're gonna have lots of fun. I'll do my best to keep you entertained, show you a good time when we're having a good time. And I promise I'll remain your good boy forever and for always. And my friends I've been talking to between on the internet and real life, my real friends, they can vouch for me on how good of a boy I have been. Being the good boy just for you, Ivy. I love you so much. I love you so much. Look at me smile. It's nice smile. 'Cause I love you, Ivy. I love you so much.
After Joshua Martinez, a bad, albeit minor troll, had been using Chris, his pastoral counsellor, Rocky Shoemaker, did a check on him, as well as Ivy. Ivy broke up with Chris due to this, citing it as a betrayal. It then appeared as though Ivy had committed suicide, which, yet again, Chris did not seem to care about. The Liquid Chris saga is widely known to be the best saga by Christorians, not being as nasty or terrorising as previous trolls, all the while still showing off Chris's antics the best. Liquid Chris, who will simply be called Liquid from now on, appeared after Chris uploaded a video called Rollin' and Trollin', where he pretended to be a troll the whole time.
Alright, we're coming to you live from Quickville today. We're over at the Quickville Pavilion. The Hedgehog boys and Master Christian Mayor, they perform here every Friday night, and it draws a crowd. It's very good, you know. This gets me some business from amongst the population. Yes, this is our graffiti wall in the middle of the city of Quickville in the metropolis. The children are enjoying it, obviously. This is also part of our beautification project in the city. And I gotta say that the project just looks fantastic from here. It all looks very good. I tell you what. Give me the liberty to know, to utter, and to argue according to conscience above all liberties.
So, how do you feel about President Obama and his economic policies?
I like it. He's doing a smash-up job with it. He's getting everybody their money and getting everybody the bang for their buck.
How do you feel about President Obama's foreign policies with countries like Iran and Iraq?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay, you know, establishing good communications and giving them what they require. Yeah, I think he's doing a very good job with his foreign policies.
President Obama, being a family man, what is your opinion on his character?
I think he's a regular stand-up family guy.
Liquid appeared, just making little goofy videos pretending to be the real Christian. This was until Liquid alleged he had been selling Sonichu merchandise, which instantly infuriated Chris. This anger was temporary until it was reignited by Liquid calling Chris Ian Brandon Anderson. In a strange video, Chris challenged Liquid to a singing contest.
Alright, Christian, Mr. Brown Striped Imposter, since you have been able to accept and complete my question challenges, it is time to issue a new challenge. I challenge you in a SingStar competition. The rules are simple. We are to each pick one song out of our own library, our own playlist, and sing them verbatim without any printed lyrics and without any karaoke equipment. And so with that,
he lost. After this, Liquid left YouTube, and Chris admitted him losing the contest proved he was the real Chris. Liquid returned, kidnapped by Chris, who did stuff to his anus, with Casey, Liquid's girlfriend, supposedly ending their engagement over the disappearance. Chris tried to pursue Casey, doing an awful job of it.
How old are you again?
I'm 27, sir.
You're almost 30. You're working at Target. You want to work at Target, I should say.
Yeah, well, not really sure what kind of jobs my degree and certificate would get me, but I mean, like, you know, if I did know, then I would strike up on the job.
You got a degree not knowing what kind of jobs you could get in that field, and you've had it for how long? When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2006.
2006. So you've had it for 3 years, and you have done nothing with it.
And also, you know what? Another heavy-duty burden I had to take care of, and that I wasn't paid for. When my dog died a few years ago, she was a sweet dog. I lifted and carried her doghouse to the site where we buried her. Her doghouse. That thing had to weigh like 5-10 tons. It was very heavy. I carried that thing.
You're talking to me about how your dog died. You're talking about someone who has lost friends and family in national tragedies. My mother, I had to deal with the loss of my mother, not to old age, but to fucking a plane by fucking piloted by terrorists. My mother was killed by terrorists.
Yeah. Well, but
you know, your heavy burden is your dog died. I'm sorry, but you know, boo. I mean, really, I've had dogs die. I mean, it sucks, but that's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's nothing.
Well, I was very sad when she died. And you know what? It was not a matter of age. It was pretty much, she was very sickly, and there was nothing we could do. So I signed that form to give them permission to put her to sleep. I let her go. That was an emotional burden on me. And I have been. My Aunt Karina died just last January because of heart cancer.
So are you?
It was very saddening.
I'm sorry. Are you messing with me? Are you trying to compare, you know, the loss of my mother, the loss of someone who took care of me for years, to a dog? You calling my mother a dog?
I am not calling your mother a dog.
I had to dig my mother out of the rubble of the Twin Towers. I mean, and you had to lift a doghouse.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that doghouse was heavier than any tombstone. And that doghouse pretty much was the tombstone.
This sent Casey back into the arms of Liquid, thus ending the Liquid Chris saga, with Liquid being incredibly successful, unlike Chris. Similarly to the Liquid Chris saga, the Asperchu saga was meant to be a direct parody of Chris and his works. The main troll in this saga is Alec Benson Leary, who created Asperchu, a comic in which Chris's mind replaced Sonichu in the hearts of Sonichu fans. Asperchu, the main character of the comic, is a clear parody of Chris, wearing his iconic shirt, being overweight, and always on the look for a heart sweet. The main name for the comic and character, Asperchu, was clearly used due to Chris's distaste of Asperger's, despite high-functioning autism being extremely similar to the condition. Alec's main source of conflict with Chris was that Chris's problems with Asperchu were hypocritical, with Sonichu suffering the same problems that he had with it.
Have you been getting a lot of mean ones that don't go into the mailbag? Because the ones I see, a lot of them, I mean, they do get kind of critical at points, but I don't know, it seems like they just kind of want to, have some questions answered.
Yeah, but I wish they wouldn't have to go so critical.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what are some of the things that you found just kind of across the line?
Like they talk about copyright issues and crap.
Well, that is kind of an important issue. I mean,
that.
I know. I noticed
I had my own copyright registration. That slip of paper I got from the Virginia Library of Congress.
Yeah, I noticed one of the copyright-related emails was someone asked if they could see, just some letter or some evidence that Sega and Nintendo gave you, permission to go with Sonic and Pikachu and that kind of stuff for Sonichu's origin story. I think if you provided those, that would silence those kind of emails right away.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have copyright of Sonichu, but you would still need to show Nintendo's permission to publish it. You know what I mean? Because you do make use of Pikachu in the origin story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea to show everyone in the mailbag. That would shut up that line of questioning right away. I noticed that even after our last talk, you continued referring to Asperchu as Mitch. I mean, I kind of thought we had that cleared away. That you knew he was Asperchu. I mean, Asperchu is my original creation.
Yeah, maybe so, but still.
And I think you still have the impression that Asperchu is a Sonichu, and that's not true, right? Asperchu is not a Sonichu.
Yeah, okay, but still think about this. You gave him the condition of Asperger's.
Yes, that's correct. Oh, that's another thing. I think you thought that I gave everyone that appeared in my comic Asperger's, but only Asperchu has it. Just so you know, just Asperchu.
Well,
I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
Anyway, still, I think you can understand, since you have Asperger's and considerably with me with my autism, that we really don't want to be treated as quote unquote special because of our mental conditions. We want to be treated as equal individuals.
Well, that's certainly true. But how do you think I've been portraying Asperchu as being treated?
Because try putting yourself in the shoes of your Asperchu. Not only would you want to be treated as an individual equal, but you
that's how I portray him. He does everything normal people do.
You would not want a name that emphasizes the mental condition. you want a name that is more manly, more...
Well, you know, Chris, we don't...
society.
We don't choose our names. I mean, our names are given to us. Asperchu never chose his name. I mean, think of it this way. You know, the name Asperchu, if you think of that as a detriment, I don't, but you know, if you interpret the comic that way, think of it as a personal, a sort of character flaw, if you will, that he has to work to overcome. And all good characters have character flaws.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's fiction. I mean, sometimes characters don't always live the happiest lives in fiction, but that's part of what makes good fiction.
Yeah. But still, I mean, with that, think about it. I mean, what if your parents had named you Asper? Because they would, like as if like a foretell, you had Asperger. You would have Asperger's.
Well,
but you would not want that. But if was being treated, wanting to be treated as an equal in society, you would not want to be called Asper, because that emphasizes the mental condition you have.
Okay, Chris, that's part of the, again, the character flaw. Asperchu has things weighing him down. He has, you know, curses and not literal curses, but, you know, he has detriments to his life that weigh him down as a character, and he has to work to overcome those. That's part of what makes a good character. I mean, you wouldn't make a character that's just, you know, all-powerful and you know, perfect in every way and has no real problems ever, would you? That'd be kind of boring. Complex characters have problems that they overcome. Yeah. And it takes time to overcome a serious problem. I mean, you just renamed him Mitch. I mean, that wouldn't do it. You know, you can't just go in and snap your fingers and just wave the problem away. And I mean, one, that's not realistic, and two, that doesn't make for good fiction. I mean, all the suspense and drama you're building up, you know, your readers wouldn't really like that if you just kind of hand waved it away. Don't you think?
All right. Okay, but still.
Think about it like this. Superman is named Superman because he's super, right? And you know, Superman is one of the most popular characters.
I mean, as an individual within his own world, outside of your control, Asperchu would not want that name. He would be in agreement with me and probably want to change his name to something like Mitch.
But the thing there is, Asperchu is not outside my control because it's a comic, and I am the creator and, you know, manager of his comic universe. So as his creator, I decide what Asperchu wants and what he doesn't want and what his personality is like. I mean, don't you think?
Fairly. Have you ever watched the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, I have. It was a good movie.
Yeah, you got the whole Toon world there. And within that, it would coincide with the comic book world, and every individual comic, published or unpublished, drawn all together. And within the world actually would reside your Asperchu, that he would be with his individual thoughts, and she gave him an adult attitude within his individual thoughts. He would hate having the name of Asperchu because it emphasizes his mental problem or his special condition. And it's like in his process of wanting to move on from that and become more acceptable in society, that he would not want a name that would make him feel like as if he's still living it, even after he's fully recovered from it.
Okay, but Chris, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that was still a movie, and everything in it was predetermined by the movie writers and the director. I mean, there is no, you know, like, alternate cartoon world in reality. I mean, cartoon characters don't actually think and feel things.
You don't.
I got it. Okay, here's a question.
You obviously are naive about that because you're not understanding that possibility of that universe actually existing.
So you do believe that when an artist creates a cartoon character, that character actually becomes real? Is that what you're saying to me?
Within that universe, yes.
But the universe is fake. I mean, the Asperchu universe exists on paper and in my computer. It's whatever I write it to be. Here's a question for you. Okay, so if you think a character would want, an appropriate name, a good name, not a name that, calls them out on something or sets them back. Sonichu is the name of a species, correct? I mean, yeah. There's Sonichus and Rosechus. Those are a species, right?
Yeah, but he was the first one. He was the first original Sonichu, and she was the original Rosechu.
But wouldn't they still want their own name?
And they each came up with their name on their own. And they did not need a nickname to go with that.
Okay, but Chris, if you're a human being, would you be comfortable just being named human or man? I mean, would you be comfortable if the name Christian Weston Chandler, didn't exist and you were just called man or person or something? I mean, Homo sapiens. If someone calls you Homo sapiens.
Yes, but still, I was not the very first human being, and I actually had parents who gave me that name. Sonichu came in, he had to come up with his own
Sonichu
name.
had you that gave him the name, didn't he? I mean, within the comic, Christian Weston Chandler is Sonichu's father, right? I mean, why wouldn't your cartoon self give him a name?
Well, that's the cartoon me versus the real me.
Okay, but isn't the cartoon you... Like you said, cartoons are, basically real. I mean, so shouldn't the cartoon version of you be just like you? Wouldn't you want to give your child a name? I mean,
I did give him a name. He's the original Sonichu, so therefore, it's as such.
But all the other Sonichus also have, like nicknames or secondary names. So the first Sonichu, I gotta think, is feeling kind of left out.
No, he doesn't feel left out. He accepts that, and he's happy with it, just as Rosechu.
Okay, well, I don't think that Asperchu feels left out because, he's just my cartoon character. He's my property. He's, my intellectual property. That's what he is. You can't have a person as property. So, if he's my property, he's not a person. He doesn't feel things. He doesn't think.
Okay, well, still, what if you actually conceived a child with your girlfriend or wife? Then would you feel that you actually own that child, even after you had raised it from being a baby to, let's say, late teenage years, where that child would actually feel more like an individual, independent being?
Chris, you do understand that a child, a human being, is substantially more than a comic character, right? They're not the same thing. They're not even close. Of course I would name a child. Children are real. And children are not our property. I mean, if I had a child, I would give it all the love and support it needed, but it is its own person, or he or she, I should say. Whereas a comic character is it's whatever you draw on paper or in Photoshop. I mean, when I draw Asperchu on paper, that's the only place he exists. And then I upload him onto my computer, and that's where he exists. And then he exists on the web. So as a character, he grows, but he's never a person.
Well, anyway, it's just something for you to think about. Okay, yeah.
We can agree to disagree. Here's what I do. I do sometimes draw the pages on paper. I'm kind of trying to shy away from that because, our society wastes so much paper, so I'm trying to be a little... socially responsible. But what I do, I use a tablet, and I draw on that. And that's basically the same thing as pen and paper, except what I draw just goes right onto the computer screen. So I don't use a mouse. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, but still, it's crappy compared to mine. Even my mother agrees.
Oh, hey, come on. That's a little insulting, Chris. What do you mean crappy? I mean, my mother says that my comic is, the most beautiful comic she's ever seen, too, but I kind of think that's just because she's a supportive mother. Mothers are supposed to support their children in their endeavors. And I have, I have got 20,000 fans now that love it too. None of them are my mother. My mother doesn't actually use a computer. I just show her the printouts. I get complimented on my arts all the time. I mean, it's okay to disagree. I'm curious why you think it's crappy.
Because it's computer drawn. It's not originally hand drawn.
I just told you it is hand drawn. It's hand drawn on a tablet. What do you mean it's not original hand drawn?
You don't have the old-fashioned original pencil or pen markings. That's what I have.
So because I don't have like smudge marks on my paper, is that what you mean? That was another reason I went into the tablet, because I got a lot of smudge marks on my paper when I was doing that, and then I had to, spend extra time erasing it. Okay, by comparison, could I say that our car is not, true original transportation because, people should be using old-fashioned horses? I mean, you use Photoshop for lettering and effects. We're one and the same here, Chris.
In this section, I will attempt to briefly summarize all of the content within the Sonichu comic. In the first issue, which is issue 0, Sonichu is created through the Chaotic Rainbow, a mix between Sonic and Pikachu, with Sonic not being affected by this. Rosachu is also created by this. In issue 1, Dr. Robotnik creates Black Sonichu, aka Blake. In issue 2, Chris replaces his own self-insert Sonichu with literally himself becoming the main protagonist in Sonichu, and the ancient prophecy is brought up which allows Chris to transform to Christian Sonichu. Mary Lee Walsh, aka Slawee Orion, makes her first attack on Quickville. In issue 3, the Chaotic Combo are introduced. In issue 5, Sarah Hammer's wedding is ruined, with Megan aiding Chris, and Slaweel attacks again, trapping Crystal in the mirror. In issue 6, Patty, Chris's dead dog, is introduced into the comic with powers. In issue 7, Chris is lost in the Time Void. In issue 9, Chris is pulled out of the Time Void. In issue 13, the Idea Guys are having a massive negative effect on Chris. Issue 14 describes the event leading up to the dimensional merge. I have missed a lot, however, the majority of this is little stories that don't matter to the general plot, or are just things from Chris's life that he is complaining about. Chris also created his own band, known as Christian and the Hedgehog Boys. This band did not compose their own music, and instead was just Chris shouting his own original lyrics over the original, to which he did not use instrumental versions, so the lyrics are still in the background and Chris still manages to be out of sync. Some of the best hits from them are Sony the Cute Girl, a parody of Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way, Trollster's Paradise, a parody of Coolio's Gangster's Paradise, and Quick Like a Virgin, a parody of Madonna's Like a Virgin. Chris became a tomgirl, beginning to cross-dress as well as wear makeup. He started a new band, Robbie Sonny and the Tomgirls. He also uploaded a makeup tutorial.
Majority of my face. I'm going to brush things upwards. Keep an eye in the mirror. Apply some primer onto my eyelids. Eyeshadow to go onto my eyelids for this time. To get yourself, you can learn more about how to apply multiple shades to give your eyes a possibly more better look. Your eyelids. And lastly, I like to apply some lipstick. Oh, this is a no-brainer. And then to give them a little shine, I just apply some lip gloss.
Despite all of this, Chris reinforced that he was a heterosexual male, which didn't matter to Bob, who hated this lifestyle choice. On the 6th of September 2011, Robert Chandler passed away due to heart failure. This marked a sad day in history, with trolls completely stopping screwing with Chris, allowing Chris and Bob to mourn. The Quickie was also shut down out of respect. This occurrence has likely led to Chris's life going downhill at a faster rate. Whilst Bob wasn't too great of a parent, he was definitely better of the two, trying to keep him relatively normal in society. With this, Chris was able to be more free to recluse himself from societal norms. On the 28th of October 2011, Chris and Bob visited the game place after hearing it was under new management, so that Chris could now return. However, Michael Schroder, the man who banned Chris, was now the owner, continuing Chris's ban. After leaving the game place, Chris and Bob then ran over Michael Schroder, slightly injuring him. The police arrived, with Bob assaulting one of the officers. They were thus arrested and charged with felonies, although Chris barely received any consequences, with the charges being reduced to misdemeanors. It should be noted that Chris did this on his own accord.
Greene County investigators are looking into the cause of a house fire early this morning. It started at about 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Branchland Court. That's in the southern part of the county. We're told the fire started in a first-floor bathroom, but got quickly out of control and eventually shot through the roof. Everybody inside was able to get out safely, but one firefighter suffered minor injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
On the 10th of January 2014, Chris's house set fire due to a coffee machine in the bathroom in which the cord had been worn down, resulting in the blaze starting. This was bad enough, but due to Bob's excessive hoarding, it was a prime area to be burned. One of Chris's pets, Scamper, was killed due to smoke inhalation, and a firefighter received minor injuries. Luckily, however, no other pets or people were injured. This fire resulted in many of the trolls, notably null of the Kiwi farms, assisting Chris. On the 14th of August 2014, Chris came out as transgender, changing his name to Christine Weston Chandler from Christian Weston Chandler. However, this did not stop him from being homophobic. He was adamant that he was a lesbian trans woman and was happy to have sex with heterosexual women as well as lesbians. Chris also began trying to use subliminal frequency hypnosis to further his transition. Further to this, he cut open his taint in order to give himself a vagina. This became the unclit, which worried the trolls, who were justly worried about it becoming infected and making him seriously ill, and after a lot of prodding, he finally got it sorted out.
Hello to all my lucky lady fans. Yes, I just got out of the shower and I feel clean again. Well, it gets lonely around here in my bedroom. I feel like I might want to date some of y'all. I mean, we get to know each other, you know? Have a pleasant dinner, or just enjoy a conversation over a cup of coffee. See where things go, see how we feel around each other. I'm open to all kinds of women, 'cause you got the whole package in one. The female soul, the body that can go any way you desire. My ladies. Straight, bisexual, lesbian. I'll take y'all on. 'Cause I'm an overlooked treasure that should not be ignored or overlooked any longer.
On the 26th of December 2014, Chris entered a GameStop store in order to protest the new Sonic Boom game, due to the character Sonic the Hedgehog having blue arms rather than his normal pale arms. After being caught trespassing, he began leaving the store, saying,
"Don't call anybody,"
before taking out a can of pepper spray and spraying the assistant manager of the store. Again, Chris was only charged with a misdemeanor as well as a fine. it should be noted that Chris did this on his own accord. The Idea Guys were a group of trolls who enabled Chris's delusions, as well as trying to escalate it themselves. This began around October 2017, with them being cut off from Chris in April 2018. Despite this relatively brief period, the damage they did to Chris cannot be overstated. The Idea Guys made Chris believe that Quickville was real, a delusion he only slightly held before. He also drastically changed the Sonichu canon, making it so Nazis invaded Quickville.
You friggin' Nazis! I'm gonna kick you all out of Equestria!
They were the main reason for Chris believing in a dimensional merge, where he believes all dimensions will merge together, notably Quickville. Finally, the Idea Guys also extorted Chris, and it was a good day in the Christery when they were cut off from Chris. On the 30th of July 2021, a call between Chris and someone called Bella was leaked. It was revealed that Chris had intercourse with his mother multiple times over the course of multiple weeks every 3 days. It is also likely Chris used toys during their times together, as Noel had noticed these purchases. It is unknown whether Barbara is functioning enough due to her age as well as possible dementia, but despite this, what Chris did was still really wrong, as well as illegal in West Virginia. Chris was arrested on the 1st of August 2021, with it being recorded by another lolcow, Ethan Ralph. Chris's time in jail has been so far uneventful, but the only thing coming from it yet is a letter from Chris to Noel, declaring him the Judas to his Jesus. I will now read out some of the best bits of the letter. My life events at present, and so far, can be directly compared and matched with that which I have been chronicled of none other than Jesus Christ of Nazareth himself. I am literally the real player one, the one avatar, and this body, eyes, mind, and all is the one God body. And I am literally Jesus Christ himself, fully reincarnated and fully awakened. But Null had to fail his destined test and betrayed me like I was betrayed with a kiss over 2,000 years ago. This is where the story remains, but the story is far from over. But it is unknown how long for, and we probably won't get a final conclusion at least for another few months. It is very strange to see Christian, a lolcow who has been mostly seen as someone who couldn't do anything too harmful, a person whose story was very quirky with very few actual dark moments within his life, do something to turn his story so dark and so twisted. If you've managed to get to the end, thank you for watching. I'm not going to say the generic stuff that every other YouTuber says, but I'm just putting this little bit at the end here so it doesn't disturb the little end bit of the video. If you like this, hopefully you'll like some of my other content on my channel.
I'll be in your dreams.